Chords and numbers. All scales in every key are numerically the same. Note spacings are consistent throughout, and each note of each scale is numbered from 1 through 8. Now just forget about the names of the notes or the sharps or the flats. This diagram below represents any scale. Now it's hard to believe that you can break it down to such a low common denominator, but it's very important to understand the significance of this particular diagram. You see, when you play the piano well, you understand the concept that we deal with alpha names for the chords and the notes C, D, E, F, G. And we know that the keys that we are playing in are specific keys that are named with alpha characters. However, when we play the piano, we don't just think in terms of alpha, we think in terms of numbers. And 1 through 8 is so important. Because you see, you can keep track of numbers. You cannot keep track of alpha characters. You can use numbers to transpose. You can use it to figure out chords. You can use it to figure the order of progressions. Anything with a number, and you're only concentrating on 8 notes at a time. You cannot add alpha characters, but you can add numbers. So 1 through 8 is a very, very important thing. You can play in any key you want, but when it all comes down to the end, you're only dealing with 8 notes. A smart musician, an experienced, seasoned musician, knows this fact right here, and now you know it. A major chord has a numerical order of 1, 3, 5 as it relates to the major scale. So right here we're looking at the key of C. This is C to D. Da 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 da. Okay. The first, the third, and the fifth note of that scale makes a major chord. So, and that's represented down here below. Now the root note gives the chord its name. So this is the root, it's a C, C major. There is a major chord for each of the 12 notes in an octave. Now there are also 12 scales for those notes in the octave, and each one of those chords is a derivative of its own scale. Minor chord has a numerical order of 1, 3, flat 5 as it relates to the major scale. Now that means that we're looking at the key of C right here, starting on C, and we're going from C to C. When we get to the third, we have to flat it. So we move it down a half step. That makes the minor chord. Now there's a minor chord for each of the 12 notes in an octave as well. And each one is based on its own particular scale. So D will be based on the D scale, and F is going to be based on the F scale.